new year so far. In this new year, I wanted to kick off some keto casseroles. I love keto and I'm trying to get back into things, trying to eat a little bit healthier. So today I have 5 keto casserole recipes that I know you guys are gonna love. Let's get started. To get it started, we're going to be making this $1 million chicken casserole. To a saucepan, I'm going to put 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, 1/3 cup of sour cream, and then 1/2 teaspoon of this chicken bouillon powder. I usually keep this on hand at all times because I absolutely love it. And then we're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and then we're just going to go ahead and give that a stir. I'm going to let that simmer on the stovetop for about 5 minutes just so it'll thicken. Once it's thickened, I'm just going to set it to the side. I have about 1 pound of rotisserie chicken, which is about 4 cups of shredded up rotisserie chicken. I'm just going to put that at the very bottom of my 9x13 pan. I also have 1/2 cup of cottage cheese. The recipe does call for ricotta, so if you don't have ricotta, definitely cottage cheese worked fine. And then we need 1 cup of shredded cheddar jack cheese. I just used this pepper jack cheese that I had on hand. And now we're just going to go ahead and put that sauce right on top of that. We're going to give that a really good stir, getting all of those cheeses combined with the chicken. And if you want to put any type of like tortilla chips that's low carb, or any like crunchiness that is low carb, you can put that in here. It is going to enhance this meal so much. I didn't, I just actually put it on top. And then I'm actually just going to go ahead and put a little bit more cheese on top because doing keto, y'all know I love cheese, and cheese is totally fine on keto, which I absolutely love. So I put in about another 3/4 cup of cheese just right on there, and then I'm also going to put another 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese on top of that. Give it some really good flavor. I have these Quest protein chips that are absolutely amazing. I just crush them up in the bag and I'm just pouring them right on top. And then I just place this in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. And this is what it came out to look like after it was done cooking. This was so good. My husband, who is not 100% on board with keto with me, he loved this. He said it was so good. I told him, I was like, you're not going to like this. And then as soon as he started eating it, he's like, oh my goodness, this is so good. He went back for seconds, and I know he wanted more than that. But yeah, the crunchiness of those chips on top just like make this so delicious. Up next is jalapeno popper casserole. So the first thing we're going to need to do is chop up 2 pounds of chicken breasts, and I'm just going to set this over to the side. I'm going to get my skillet ready to go. So my skillet's been preheating, and now I'm just going to go ahead and put in some bacon grease. You guys can do olive oil or any type of oil that you want. I just love using bacon grease because I already have it on hand because we make bacon all the time. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and place my chicken right in there. I'm going to cook this until all of the chicken is nice and cooked through. I'm also going to season it, so I have 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. And then I'm just going to go ahead and mix that around, getting that well combined. I didn't add any salt just because my garlic powder is very salty. It's super fine, so it ends up being really salty. Also, to another skillet that I had preheating, I am going to add 1 block of cream cheese, and then I'm also going to add 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream, and then I'm going to go ahead and just try to get that stirred through. You definitely want to make sure that your cream cheese is softened, that way it's easier to cook, and then that should thicken up. But we're also going to add a little bit of Mexican cheese, so I have about 1 cup of cheese that we're going to add to this as well. So you just want to add 1 cup and then get that stirred through. And then once that is thickened, then we can go ahead and add our chicken to the skillet and just get all of the chicken in with that sauce. This is going to make a super thick and creamy, delicious texture. And then while that was cooking, I also diced up 3 small jalapenos. I wanted to make sure that these were diced up very, very fine. If you guys want to put them in some type of mixer or food processor, that would be even better. Get that well combined, and then we're going to go over to our 9x13 pan, and we're just going to put that at the very bottom. And you just want to layer this so that it's nice and even. And then I'm going to go ahead and add half a cup of cheese right on top of that. And then we have another 2 jalapenos that we're just going to place right on top of that. I just diced that. And then also about a 1/4 of a cup of chopped up bacon we're just going to place right on top of that. And then we're going to cook that at 350 for about 20 minutes. And this is what it'll look like when it's done. This was so good. This was my husband's favorite meal that I made out of all of these meals. He loved it. It was very spicy, so if you do not like spice, maybe do not add as many jalapenos. But other than that, the flavor was phenomenal. We just paired this with a salad, and that's it. It was so, so good. Now we're going to be making this absolutely amazing meatball casserole. This is probably my kids' favorite out of all of them. They love this one. So to a 9x13 pan, I just have a 32-ounce bag of meatballs. I'm just going to place them right in there. You can definitely do homemade if you prefer. I actually prefer homemade ones, but out of convenience sake, I just went ahead and did these type of meatballs. And then you're just going to need a jar of salsa, just 24 ounces. And I like to kind of rinse mine out with some water to make sure I get all of the marinara and pasta sauce out. And then I'm just taking a spatula and just trying to get all of that water mixed in with the marinara. I'm going to put that to the side, and then now to a bowl I have a whole cup of cottage cheese. You can use cottage cheese or you can use ricotta. I have about 2 tablespoons of garlic that I'll be tossing in there as well. Also a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and then 4 ounces of cream cheese, about a tablespoon of parsley. And I'm just going to go ahead and give that a good stir. I like to melt my cream cheese just a tad. That way it's easier to stir all of those ingredients together. So I think I put that in the microwave for like 15 seconds just because I wanted to make sure that it was a little bit more soft. Sometimes I don't think about my cream cheese and setting it out in time, and so it ends up being kind of cold. But this is what the mixture is supposed to kind of look like. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different if you use ricotta cheese. And then I'm just going to take little spoonfuls and place it right on top of our meatballs to give it this nice little cheesy texture right on top. I'm going to go ahead and take my little tiny spatula and just smooth all that out. I also am going to take a whole cup of mozzarella cheese and put that on top. And if you guys like cheese, you do not have to just use 1 cup. You can use however much you would like. I put this in the oven at 350 for 45 minutes to 55 minutes because you want to make sure those meatballs are nice and cooked through. And this is what it turned out to be like. Oh my soul, this was so good. I actually put mine on top of some squash. I just made some spaghetti squash in the Instant Pot, and then I had mine with some squash. That way I had a little bit more vegetables. My kids had theirs with a salad and some green beans, and they all devoured this meal so fast. Okay, and now we're going to be making chicken and squash casserole. This one was another really good one. So the first thing that we're going to do in a medium bowl is I'm going to put half a cup of mayonnaise. I used Duke's mayonnaise for the first time, and yeah, it is definitely well worth your money, y'all. It is so good. Also, I'm going to put in a half a cup of sour cream, and then half a block of cream cheese, or 4 ounces. And then you're just going to give that a really good stir. I definitely suggest melting the cream cheese just a tad. That way you can stir it together a little bit easier. Next, we need 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and then half a teaspoon of black pepper. Give that a really good stir, getting that well combined. Next, we're going to add 2 cups of spaghetti squash, and then 4 cups of rotisserie chicken, and then also a 1/4 cup of bacon. And the best that I possibly could, I was going to get that stirred up. I definitely needed a much bigger bowl, but I love these bowls that have the handles because they just work so well. I recently got it for Christmas, and I've seen other people on YouTube use them, and oh my goodness, they are amazing. They're not the prettiest, but you guys, they work wonders. They're my favorite mixing bowl at the moment, so I will definitely always keep a link in my description box for these because I just love them so much, and I know that anybody who bakes or cooks or anything like that, you guys will love it too. Next, we're just going to go ahead and place that into a 9x13 pan. I did go ahead and lightly grease that. And now I'm just going to go ahead and spread that out. I love this meal because it's very filling because you have that squash already in the casserole. And this would be paired really well with just like a side salad. But this is an awesome, awesome keto meal. And then you can top it with a cup of mozzarella cheese and call it good. I also topped it with some bacon. I did about 1/4 cup of bacon just to give it like a really nice bacon flavor. Of course, any keto meal that you make, if you put bacon on top of it, it's going to make it taste even better. I just try to cook with bacon as much as I can because it's just so good. And then I just put a little bit, maybe 1/2 cup more of cheese right on top of that. And called it good. Put this in the oven at 350 for 35 minutes. And once it came out of the oven, it was looking super cheesy. I love all the bacon on it. Yes, this was phenomenal to enjoy. My kids did not really enjoy the squash too terribly much. They're not really squash people. Maybe we just don't have squash very often, and so it's not like a vegetable they were used to. But I loved this meal. This was amazing. And I enjoyed having a salad and green beans with it. You can see here how cheesy and delicious it looks. But yes, the green beans and the salad paired wonderfully with this meal. This was a very delicious keto meal. This meal definitely reminded me of like that cracked chicken. I see it all over Pinterest and I've had it many, many times, but I think this was even better just because of the squash that was in it. That way you can get a little bit more full and a little bit more satiated with all of the whole casserole. So this one was definitely a win for me. Okay, the last one that we have is a taco casserole. So to a medium saucepan, I'm just going to take 1 pound of ground beef and cook it until it's nice and cooked through, and then we will drain off all of the remaining grease. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that ground beef right back into our saucepan. I need 1/3 cup of water and then 1 ounce of taco seasoning, and I'm going to give that a good stir. Next, I'm going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. Rotel or any type of knockoff is fine. And then giving that another really good stir as well. And then I'm just going to set that to the side into a 8x11, just a little bit smaller than a 9x13. I'm going to go ahead and spray it. And then I'm just going to put the taco mixture that we just made at the very bottom of that pan. I'm also going to top it with 1.5 cups of Mexican cheese. And then I'm just going to layer that so it's nice and even. I'm going to set that to the side. And then we have a medium mixing bowl. We're just going to add 4 eggs. Also, I'm going to add 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, or you guys can do half and half is fine too. 1/2 cup of sour cream, and then give that a good stir. And then we're just going to pour that mixture right on top of our taco mixture and on top of our cheese. And that is it. I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and level on top, and then I'm going to toss this in the oven at 350 for 40 minutes. This is what it looks like after it's done. You definitely want to make sure that the eggs are well cooked through. That was like my biggest fear, but as I was cutting into it, they definitely looked well done, so we were good with that. And you can definitely top this with even more cheese before you put it in the oven. It wasn't super cheesy, but it's kind of whatever you guys prefer. And then I topped ours with some sour cream and also some salsa, and this is what it looks like. It was very good. I wouldn't say it was my favorite out of all the casseroles that I made, but it was definitely a really great option for having a keto casserole. We did pair this with a salad, and of course you guys can have any type of like low carb tortillas or anything like that. Okay, how do you like your dinner?
I really like it. It's probably 1 from 10, it would probably be 100. I like it. It's really good.
Okay, which one did you like? Did you like the meatball stuff that I made? Chicken stuff that I made? The chips on top?
I would have to say the meatball stuff.
You like the meatball ones?
I loved it. It was
Loved it.
really good.
What about you? How was it? Okay. What was your favorite meal that I made?
Meatball stuff.
Meatball stuff.
That was really, 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 really good.
Okay. All right, you little miss. Do you like your dinner?
I'm eating this one.
Yeah. What was your favorite meal that I made? This. Okay, what do you think, Daddy Hill?
It's really good. My favorite meal is probably the jalapeno.
Oh yeah, that was Daddy's favorite. He loved that one. I have tons of other videos just like this on my channel, so make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next one, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!